Hi everybody, I hope you're doing so well today. Thank you, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for asking. Today I want to try a very viral blush, I think, or better saying a very popular blush when it comes to the K-beauty realm. A lot of people use it, people have hit pan on this like crazy, and it was reformulated. And I want to try the new formula because in the past I have used the original one. I did enjoy it. I don't have it anymore because mine expired. I knew that at some point I wanted to try the new formula, which is what I'm doing today. The blush that I'm talking about is the ROMAND Better Than Cheek blush in the shade Blueberry Chip. I feel like this color, especially amongst cool tone people or people who just enjoy a baby pink, I feel like a lot of people use this, and I can tell why, because this color is truly very pretty. I wanted to try this blush again, see how I like it, if I like this formula better than the original one. So I guess let's just jump into this. I want to start with the packaging. I feel like the way the blush looks now is a lot more aesthetically pleasing. This is more on par with their branding now because their makeup products in general look more sleek. They only have ROMAND written along like the upper rim of a lip tint. I feel like this just suits their brand a bit more. Kind of reminds me also of their palettes where they have ROMAND written at the bottom. So it feels the same, it just looks different because it is completely clear. I think that the packaging like this just looks very sleek, simple. There's not much to it. I got the shade Blueberry Chip, which is a very popular shade amongst these blushes. It is advertised to be for cool toned people, like a summer cool tone. It is one of those very light baby pink blushes that I personally tend to use either as a base for other blushes. I use this to blend out other blushes that may be looking a little bit too much. As I mentioned, this blush is a reformulated one. The formula has changed in terms of it not having as much of a kickback. Basically the same thing, you know, the same blurring light blush, you know, not too pigmented. It is very soft and natural, but it doesn't have the kickback that it used to have. That's at least what they say. And I'm very excited to see if that's actually the case. So let's jump right into the demo part of this. I'm using my trusty Philly Millie brush. It's the 885, which is a kind of point blusher brush. I really enjoy it because I feel like it picks up the perfect amount of product and makes product actually show up on your skin. It's not the brush for when you are in a hurry, I would say, because it is quite small. It is the most perfect highlighter brush though, because it really hugs your cheek. Oh my god, it applies highlighter in such a beautiful manner. I love it for that. Let's go into the blush. So far, as I'm picking it up on the brush, I can definitely tell that indeed it is less powdery, has less kickback than the original formula had. I was a little skeptical, but it's true. The actual product seems to be more hardly pressed than before. This indeed feels better to me. We shall see how it actually applies to the skin then. Taking some more. I can tell that it is still a light blush in terms of how pigmented it is, which could be a pro for some people and a con for others. I am pretty fair, as you can tell, and I feel like this blush does need a little bit of build up on me. Because it is a little bit more soft in pigmentation, you will probably never turn out with clown cheeks. I can see a baby pink cool tone flush on my cheeks. It looks very soft and elegant. Enjoy how it looks so far. So I did notice the difference in the formula of this just not being as powdery, but everything else, I feel like the finish is very reminiscent of the old one. Did hope it was going to be a little bit more pigmented. I like that I can build it up. As you can see, I am able to create pink cheeks nonetheless, even if it is very light in pigmentation. You can still see that my cheeks are pink. The finish is still as smooth and beautiful as before. It was a beautiful blush, don't get me wrong. It's just that in case you didn't like that it was so powdery, then I think the new formula is really going to speak to you. If you are into very blush cheeks, this is probably going to make you frustrated because this is a more natural blush. Soft and gentle highlighter. Since this is a matte blush, but I want some glowy cheeks, I'm using the same brush. Perfect glowy pink cheeks. Final thoughts, I would say if you have been looking for a soft blush that doesn't have that much kickback, and that in coloration is not too much. If you just chronically tend to have clown cheeks because you just have a very heavy hand with blush, then I think that these Romand blushes can really be a staple in your collection. Maybe to create a base with this first and then add a stronger blush on top very lightly, where I think a brush like this one will also come in handy, because when you have a smaller brush like this, it is just more difficult for you to apply too much in one go. I like to do dabbing motions. I start small and then I apply it more widely. And I feel like a brush like this helps you to control the amount of product that you're actually applying. And if you like more deep blushes, more vibrant blushes, I think it is a great idea to start with something light like this, apply it all over, and then you can add the actual point color very precisely in a smaller area, and that will definitely help you to not create two blushed cheeks. This blush is going to be very helpful for you, again, for that base layer. Or if you already applied a more intense blush, it is looking way too much. You could obviously use a powder to kind of diffuse the color, but I feel like a blush like this is more helpful. Kind of creates a bridge between your actual skin and your intense blush. Kind of creates a little bridge. If you're someone who just enjoys generally a very light application when it comes to blushes, then this is also going to be very handy for you to have. They also have different shades, obviously, so you can get a little bit of a deeper shade. The formula is just really amazing, and it'll help you to blend and blur out whatever you already have on your cheeks. Really enjoy the blush still, and I'm just very happy to have it back in my collection. That, you guys, completes today's little review. I hope it was helpful. I hope you had fun hanging out with me again, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and I'd really love to see you next week. Until then, please take care of yourself. Bye!